Sports pregame show.
Ernie Johnson welcoming you to the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm here with Shaq and the Jet. In this game, we'll see the Atlanta Hawks going up against the Boston Celtics in Boston. Taking a look at the Celtics, over the first half of the season, we've gotten a good sense of what this team is capable of. When they're on, which they have been consistently, they are an excellent unit. And one of the guys we'll be seeing tonight is Al Horford. He's not a flashy guy by any means, has never gotten all that much national media love, but Shaq, wouldn't you say he is as solid a post player as you'll find?
You know what, he doesn't do anything with flash and doesn't have the big contract, but he plays like it. I just want to say muchas gracias, papi. He's from Dominican Republic.
Oh, muy bien. Well, he does everything you want a post player to do. I mean, honestly, he passes the basketball. He can handle it off a rebound. He moves it, post moves. He's improved his outside shot. But the only thing I would say is improve being more aggressive. I'd like to see Al at times try to get 30.
And that does it for us.
Muy bien again.
Thanks for tuning in.
Muchas gracias.
And we'll see you later.
De nada.
It's an Eastern Conference matchup as the Atlanta Hawks come into town in this game. And as we start the weekend here on this Friday night, 2K Sports welcoming you to NBA basketball. With Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. We look at the Celtics winning their last 3 games. They'd like to make that 4 in a row here tonight.
Well, I don't know if these fans could be any more behind this team right now. The winning streak has captured this community's imagination. The level of enthusiasm's absolutely off the charts.
And the great atmosphere. You know, the fans have had a lot to cheer for lately, and it does come full circle. But their energy, I truly believe, is lifting this team to even greater heights.
Looking at the starting 5 for the Atlanta Hawks. They've got Gallinari. Collins is out there with the monster. And it's Young. And it's Bogdanovich in at the shooting guard. Here's the monster. And he gets it to go.
Just the height separation on that mid-range jumper. Excellent job of taking advantage.
Really was a slow start for Gallinari last season. Took him a while to get back to speed after missing all of the 2013-14 season with that torn ACL.
Here's Young after the basket by Boston. The pass to Bogdanovich. From deep three-point range, no luck.
Well, they're fortunate. The defense was taking a big chance leaving him that wide open behind the arc.
Outside Thomas. There's the dish to Brown. 5 on the clock. That's his second shot and his second basket. He's 2 for 2.
I tell you what, you better watch out, fellas. He is on fire here today.
Pass to the monster. Back to Young. From deep. Sinks it. What range from outside. Wow.
Man, that is not an easy shot right there. I mean, he had to get it off over a much taller defender.
Yeah, he needed to add just a little more loft on that one because of the size mismatch, and he did it perfectly.
And Isaiah Thomas, traded last season from Phoenix over to Boston, seemed to be a matter of fit and not production as to why they moved him.
Greg, you were talking about Isaiah Thomas. He had no love lost for the Suns. In their first meeting, he took them apart, Clark, on the floor. Remember that game? Stared him down as he was hitting shots, looked at that bench. Man, he had a big chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, and you know, most guys that are a little undersized and have battled doubters all their careers bring that kind of edge anyway. You throw in the fact that he was disappointed how the trade unfolded. He was amped up and ready for that return visit.
And guys, as much as Isaiah Thomas can help you on offense, at times he can hurt you on the defensive side, immediately posted up by whomever he's guarding. You have to give help, and of course that leaves your defense vulnerable, particularly on the weak side and controlling that defensive backboard.
Greg, you're talking about Isaiah Thomas before. Certainly his short stature limits him on Clark, the defensive side.
Yeah, but you know what? He doesn't rack up a ton of skills given his instincts and quickness. I think he really focuses on making his impact at the offensive end.
Now, here's Thomas. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Pistons in Detroit.
But his passing just blew me away. I mean, to see him operate their offense that way was a breath of fresh air.
Here's Collins. Isaiah Thomas making his last shot. Here's Bogdanovich. Another three for Atlanta.
You can't afford to give him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you've got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Here's Lee, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. One thing about David Lee is a proven scorer and rebounder. Clark, health, though, has been a concern.
It has been very durable early in his career, Kevin, but of late we've seen hamstring issues, back issues, and torn hip flexors, and that's taken a toll on him for sure.
For Boston, they have gone 1 for 2 on the night so far from the line. No good on the free throw.
And guys, for David Lee, when healthy, he can absolutely fill it up. I mean, he's a terrific offensive player, can score over both shoulders, a really solid passer, and of course, a volume rebounder.
Atlanta making a switch here. Capella's checked in. And he sinks the second.
And David Lee reworking to improve his mid-range jumper going into last season. When he's hitting that shot, guys, he's almost impossible to defend.
Now, here is Gallinari. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. And Young kicks to Bogdanovich. The Hawks working the ball around. Here's the monster. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. The Boston Celtics figured to be near the bottom of the league last year. In many ways, they outperformed a lot of people's expectations.
And by no means were they a contender at any point, but they very well could be ahead of themselves in terms of the rebuilding process.
And with the Celtics being a surprise threat near the end of last season, even their losses were close games.
And that one misses.
To back up your point about the Celtics being in close games, I mean, their point differential on the year was less than where you would expect it to be for a team that made the playoffs. I mean, it really gives you an idea of how many close games they played.
That one is no good. Hawks were so dominant last year and were the first team to clinch their spot in the postseason.
Hawks also would wrap up the top seed in the East and were able to advance against the Nets in 6 games.
Young dishes to Gallinari. Pass to the monster. They set the screen. Pass to Gallinari. Fader on the way. Second chance shot. Here's Capella. The rim-rattling two-handed jam.
And putting in the work on the boards, and it's paying off with chances like that.
And Gia, he does put in the work. You're right. It's why he's on the finishing end of one putback slam after another.
Well, his effort has never been a question mark. He is an incredibly self-motivated player.
Thomas, no good.
You know, in the second round, the Hawks had a bit of trouble once again with the Wizards. Were able to get by them despite going down 2-1 in that series. Seemed like they were out of gas against the Cavs in the next round.
Boston leading by 3. Lee outside. Here's the kid. He picked up 18 points in their last win against the Pistons in Detroit.
And also, his assist total tells you about the job he did of keeping his head up and keeping his teammates involved. And really, with the Hawks in the postseason, they just ran out of help. I mean, the Korver injury, the Carroll injury were huge against the Cavs. And when you lose that much talent, you could see why they were swept out in that conference finals. Don't forget, they also lost Cephalosha prior to the playoffs.
And he gets the bucket.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Very high percentage so far, and if you want to start a game hot, that's the way to do it.
Now, here is Young. He's coming off a 19-point game against Philadelphia.
And how about the extraordinary display of his passing in that game? He was making all the right decisions and had their offense humming.
Here's Thomas. The pass to the Cobra. Outside Thomas. The inside. It's out of bounds. They are saying it was last touch by Lee.
Boy, did they ever make a mess out of that one. A terrible turnover.
Here's Young. Great numbers on a nightly basis as he averages over 24 points a game. Kicks it to Capella. To the wing right side. Stolen. Thomas against Young. Pass to the Cobra. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Celtics.
Well, I think the defensive aggressiveness on display here has caught him off guard. Playing airtight defense and coming up with the steals.
And also defensively, they've been able to cause some turnovers tonight, and that also builds confidence and gives you momentum.
Celtics making a switch here. Horford's checked in. And Atlanta has possession, trailing by 10, coming off that loss against Philadelphia.
Yeah, they just caught a team, Kevin, that was in a zone, and they didn't have the manpower defensively to disrupt them.
Hey, zone or no zone, I expected a little more fight out of them than what they showed. I mean, they never strung together any stops like they needed to.
Passes to the kid. And the shot is good. The kid's got 9.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, Greg, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
Here's Bogdanovich. His last outing, 16 points for him. Gallinari, soft touch off the glass. Gallinari's got his first 2 points of the night.
They are really doing a nice job establishing a presence inside early.
And watch, Clark, how the game plays out, because this is going to open things up on the perimeter.
Now here's Thomas. He's got 6. Offline with his 3.
And guys, we've seen teams hire college coaches with no NBA experience before. It hasn't always worked out, but for Boston, they have to be very pleased with Brad Stevens.
Here's Thomas. He's been a factor in their offense on most nights with his scoring average at nearly 16 points a game. The offensive rebound. Lee, that's good.
Rebounding is going to be the focal point for them in this one, fellas. I can feel it.
It always is, and it has been so far, and they've gotten a nice edge on the glass.
Now, here is Young. The pass to the monster. To the middle. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. That one on Horford. It was a tough battle down the stretch, but the Celtics were able to get back into the playoffs last year.
And kind of just hovering around all season, but give them credit. They fought their way in and spent only 1 year out of the postseason in their rebuild.
No good on that one.
And, you know, for the Celtics, the actual playoff series didn't go well. They got swept by the Cavaliers, but most people will remember the injuries from the series more than the play, and the Celtics have a bright future, no doubt.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. T.J. Warren, he's checked in for Lee, and Smart subbed in for Isaiah Thomas. And then for Atlanta, Thabo Cephalosha has checked in for Gallinari. Korver comes in for Bogdanovich, and Lewis Williams subbed in for Young.
Well, listen, it was a forgettable series for Celtics fans. However, the Celtics' young core were able to experience postseason basketball. That's something that you can really never replicate. I'm sure they'll be hungry for more of it, and credit Brad Stevens on a terrific job.
Jared Sullinger's checked in for Boston. And a switch here also for Atlanta. Zeller, he's checked in for the Monster. The Hawks trail by 11. Outside Williams. Picked by Zeller. The three. No good. And it's Boston the other way. They put up a nice win against Detroit the last time out.
And with the type of defense they played that day, they were able to cause a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, and causing a lot of turnovers, Greg, as you well know, means cashing in on those opportunities, which really can put a team in a bad way in a hurry.
Now here's Zeller. He gets it to fall. That makes it just a single-digit lead.
Yeah, heads-up aggressive play right there. Saw the smaller man on him and took it straight to the basket.
Sullinger the screen. Now here's Smart. Defense right on him. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot two.
And really a fantastic season for Sullinger last year. Really made some leaps forward, but missed a lot of time still due to injury.
The Celtics shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
You've got to appreciate their ability to make free throws, 81% as a team.
Guys, that says a lot about the poise of this team. I mean, they've been so calm, cool, and consistent at the stripe this year. I mean, that's impressive.
That free throw good from Sullinger. Sullinger did continue to improve last year, Clark, but you can't ignore that he had to miss time once again.
Yeah, and you hope that he'll be able to stay healthy for a full year at some point. When he's on the floor, he's a hard matchup for just about every team in the league.
Both free throws good from Sullinger.
You know, there was plenty to be happy about last year in Atlanta with the way the Hawks played. One sour note, though, was that the team was viewed as a potential buy for Seattle groups.
The Hawks trail by 11. Well, last season, the Hawks not only had a great year on the floor, as they were the top seed in the Eastern Conference, but they had a pretty good day at the bank, too. They sold for a nice price. Looks like the team is going to stay in Atlanta, where it belongs.
Yeah, and that's great news for Atlanta, and they were rewarded with a terrific season. A group, including Grant Hill, purchased the Hawks, and obviously will keep that group in Atlanta for many years to come.
You might not think of him as a laser three-point shooter, but that shot was there for him, and he had to take it.
There's a screen. Left side, Brown. Just 5 to shoot. Here's Warren. And he converts the layup. And the Celtics lead by 10.
Their defense just hasn't been able to slow them down.
And that's a big reason why they're trailing, surrendering too many easy baskets.
Now here's Korver. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Pulls up. Not enough on that one as it misses.
I didn't see that miss coming. I mean, he's usually been money from that range.
Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Well, earlier I spoke with Brad Stevens. He said that as long as they move the ball and don't get baited into bad shots, their offense should carry them in this game. He said, we have a lot of guys that can fill it up. As long as we can mix up what we show them, we'll always find a way to get points. Let's see if they can vary their looks to get good shots, guys.
Wonderful stuff, Doris. Thanks. The early game plan centered around their offense, it sounds like.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's the right approach for this game. I mean, if they can get off to a good start offensively, everything else should come together.
Well, what happens if they don't get off to a fast start? I mean, they'll be scrambling looking for answers. We'll see if that approach works for them.
So the Celtics called timeout. They're first. They beat the Hawks during their last encounter in Atlanta.
And the last time they faced this club, rebounding was their big advantage.
Clearly, that was the overriding factor. A double-digit advantage on the boards. They just pounded them inside.
Now Warren, looking at his point production, he averages almost 8 points a game. Here's Brown, and that one goes long.
Well, not really his best quarter as far as scoring. Let's see if he can eventually get back on track.
Korver gets a wide open look. Korver missing again.
He certainly didn't take advantage of the poor defense, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
I tell you what, I think he'd be happy if he can continue to get looks like that.
Now here's Brown. He picked up 30 points in their last win against the Pistons in Detroit.
Yeah, and it seemed like he spent about half the game shooting free throws. Credit him for really taking it to the defense. Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Exactly. The defense determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throws.
The Celtics have made 4 free throws from the line and missed 2. The first free throw is good. And so, Smart nails both of them.
Yeah, a lot of whistles here early, as well as foul trouble starting to be an issue.
Yeah, that's a big reason they're trailing. You can't allow a parade to the free throw line and expect to be on top in the game.
Now here's Williams. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Philadelphia. Shot clock at 5. Outside Korver. The shot no good. So as we end the first quarter, already a double-digit ball game. Celtics lead by 11. And we'll be back right after this. And Celtics head coach Brad Stevens lured away from a very successful tenure with the Butler Bulldogs. He talked about the challenge of making that decision.
The only hard part of that decision is leaving a place that you really loved for 13 years. I couldn't have left without knowing that it was a place that we were going to stay together and really commit to a process together. And I was sold on that, and I continue to be sold on it.
I wonder if Coach Brad Stevens feels like he's recruiting another college class with all those draft picks Boston and stockpile.
Well, I don't know how he would address that question, but I do know he's feeling real good about his decision. I mean, taking the Celtics to the playoffs in just his second season, I mean, I think he's one of the bright coaching stars in the NBA today. It was the NBA's gain and college basketball's loss when he moved on to the Celtics.
Well said. Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And, guys, we've seen the Celtics really take control here.
It's been about the effort. Love the hustle they've shown here in the first.
Yeah, it's due to their hustle, as you said, Greg, and it's showing up on the scoreboard, too.
Warren is out there with Horford. Then there's Smart. Then it's the Cobra. And it's Thomas in at the point guard. That's the Boston 5.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of him.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Here's Young. Marcus Smart picking up that last basket. Young's shot is off.
+8 in the rebound differential. One more reason why they're in control.
Yeah, double-digit advantage on the scoreboard. They've taken the initiative. They've played, I think, with more purpose so far.
Too long in the paint, and he's hit with a 3-second violation. Clark, one thing about the Hawks last year is they were very strong on the road, as you could have guessed.
Yeah, but Kevin, they struggled a little bit down the stretch on the road, but still managed to have the best road record in the East.
And he shows the focus there, nails the technical.
And how about that road record for the Hawks? 25-16 last season. 9 of those wins came during that 19-game winning streak in early 2015.
Bogdanovich is checked in for Kyle Korver. Now here is Horford. 14 points, their largest lead in the game. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
They got to find something. You're right. Rebounded by Smart.
Boy, you look at the Hawks, and they seem to be built to play on the road because they can survive a player having an off game. They're so deep and versatile. Team basketball is a lot less prone to go cold when you're on the road.
Now here's Smart. He's coming off a 13-point game against the Pistons in Detroit.
Hey, they got the shot they wanted off of that pick, but it just doesn't fall.
Yeah, it didn't go down, but you'll take that shot every single time, Greg. That's good offense.
And it's Gallinari missing.
Just tentative in the paint, lacking a little bit of confidence, allowed the defender to recover and contest that shot.
Bogdanovich, no good from outside.
Boy, that's a surprising miss right there. He usually feasts on those wide open opportunities.
Horford sets a screen for Warren. And Thomas, here we go. That's a bucket, his third of the game. He shot the ball 7 times.
And those are two teammates right there working in rhythm. One setting the screen and the other using it to get that separation.
Now, here is Young. Pass to the monster. An easy layup after coming off the pick. The Monster's got his second bucket of the night.
You know, that's been a big part of their offense in the early stages. I mean, their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range, right at the rim.
And Clark, they might as well keep doing it. I mean, attack the basket until the defense makes an adjustment.
Offensive rebound. And a good offensive board. And he gets the bucket.
They've shown effort and aggression in the paint right from the tip. Their rebounding edge is impressive.
And they're giving themselves extra possessions and have taken advantage of it. And that's critical. You can shoot a few lesser percentage if you're getting more opportunities at the rim.
Time called here. The Hawks decide to talk it over.
Boy, I tell you, last season was a big one for the Hawks and Coach Budenholzer. Their dominant season won him multiple Coach of the Month titles, and eventually he won the Coach of the Year award.
Avery Bradley, he's checked in for Marcus Smart. About 3 minutes played so far in the second quarter. It was pretty obvious, I thought, Greg, that Budenholzer was the deserved Coach of the Year. I mean, Steve Kerr, there are a lot of good names you could put in there. But what he's done taking the Hawks to the top of the East, a few saw that coming.
I agree with you. I mean, he has transformed this Hawks team over the past couple of years, has a wonderful team game. And, you know, obviously a lot of influence coming from Pop when he was with San Antonio, but he is really, I think, redefining how the game of basketball is being played at the pro level. Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync, tremendous communication and awareness.
Now here's Bradley. Connects from three-point range. Bradley's got himself on the board with 3 there.
That's the kind of D that you're not going to find success with, guys. They've got to get a hand in the face.
They set the pick. And Young, here we go. Rebounded by the Celtics. Outside Thomas. Outside Bradley. Thomas sets a screen for Bradley. And Young comes over to help. Here's Horford.
You know, he's not your typical NBA center in terms of height, guys, but he plays as big as any of them, thanks to his incredible bounceability.
Here's Collins. He's coming off a 25-point game against Philadelphia.
Yeah, but his shot blocking was a factor as well. 3 on the game, just a major presence on the D.
Not able to find it here in the second. He's off stride and off track just a bit after that one he had earlier.
And I like how he puts himself in position there to finish on the break.
Yeah, you know, that's what we call seeing and feeling the game. Excellent read of how that play was going to develop and where the ball was going. That's stuff that you oftentimes can't teach, Greg.
Lee's checked in for Al Horford.
Well, you could see a change in the play with the Celtics after the trade deadline last year. Adding Isaiah Thomas gave them some pop off the bench and really created some balance for them offensively.
Now, here is Gallinari. Sinks the 15-footer. Gallinari's got his second basket of the game. Boston leading by 20. Bradley with the ball. Picked by Lee. The three. And Bradley gets it to go. Bradley's got 6 in the quarter.
Lee with a solid pick that time.
Hawks shooting a lackluster 38% for the game, struggling so far. Young passes to the monster. He kicks to Gallinari. Passes it to the monster. He feeds it to Gallinari. Clock at 6. 11 feet away, and that's good off the glass that time. Gallinari's got 6 points.
That's a shot he shouldn't be afraid to take more often.
Outside Bradley. Screen by Lee. Bradley kicks to Thomas. Shot from the wing. The shot is off. And Atlanta will come the other way. Here's Young. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
No, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
It's his first trip to the line.
Young. 2 shots.
And that one falls for Young. Certainly the biggest surprise last year, Clark, was the play of the Atlanta Hawks. Few would have picked them to win the East at the start of the season.
Well, they did it, and they earned it. The Hawks didn't have any superstars on their roster, but they won with solid team play.
The kid, he's checked in for the Celtics. And a change for the Hawks. Capella's checked in.
And for the Hawks, they did end up with 4 All-Stars last season. As you said, it was all about how they worked together as a team.
Here's Bogdanovich. He's got 5 from deep. Gallinari, that's good. Gallinari's got 9.
And now he's taken a solid opening in the quarter and built on it here in the second.
There's the pass to the kid. Back to Thomas. Dishes to Lee. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Really nice dime drop in there. Playmaking ability is exactly what you get from Isaiah Thomas. And you know, around the NBA, the league recognized the Hawks were a complete team. Everybody played their roles superbly. The NBA named all 5 of their starters the Player of the Week last year in an unprecedented move.
Now, here is Young. No one covering. Bogdanovich has got 5 points now in the quarter.
It's got to be nice for them to know that game in and game out, his offense is going to be there for him.
Lee is screen on Young. Thomas goes in, and again it's Boston converting.
How about the screen that frees him up, though, for the jumper?
The Hawks trail by 18. And Young kicks to Capella. Power down with both hands.
Flush that thing down, young fella.
That is a fierce two-hander.
Maximum force on that dunk.
Outside Bradley. Feeds it to Thomas. The 11-footer. Here's the Cobra. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a 3-point play.
And the defense just gets caught standing around that time and giving up the second chance opportunity.
You know, that just can't happen. They need much more effort than that on the glass.
He made the only free throw attempt he had earlier in the game. The Celtics making a switch here. Brown's checked in, and the Hawks will go for a different look here. Tyler Zeller's checked in for Collins. Cephalosha comes in for Gallinari. Kyle Korver, he's checked in for Bogdanovich. And it's Williams in for Young. Well, last year for the Celtics, they weren't exactly world beaters at home, Still good enough, though, to get the job done.
Yeah, just a game over 500 here in Boston. Not great, but at least it was over 500 for a young up-and-coming team.
Now here's Williams. He hasn't yet put up any points in this one. Korver dishes to Williams. Again, the Hawks good for 2.
And, you know, for the Celtics at home, they were able to get wins by playing tough defense in front of their rabid fans. Their offense virtually the same as when they were on the road. The defense was the difference at home.
Here's Brown. Right now, he averages nearly 23 points a game, a relentless offensive force. Out of bounds, Atlanta takes possession.
Here's a look at the stats for Lee. He's been a factor for them over the last month. He's putting up 9 points a game, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. And this is the kind of strong, steady play you like to see. He's earning his keep and helping them win games.
And guys, they're finally getting the consistency they wanted to see from him. Look for that to continue.
Jared Sullinger's checked in for the Cobra.
And as you said with the Celtics, it was the D at home that helped them get wins here. They'll want to be better than one game over 500 this season to get back into the postseason.
Now here is Cephalosha. 6 points for him. 13 feet away. Rebound Boston. The kid's got his 3rd rebound on the night. Thomas up top. He's guarded by Williams. Sullinger with a screen for Thomas. And Sullinger kicks to Brown. Sullinger the screen. Brown the pass to Sullinger. Looking for Lee, gets it there. And he tries off the glass, but it's no good. On the wing, Korver. He's covered by Brown. Williams. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. Well, taking a look at Lou Williams last year, kind of a typical year for him, a lot of scoring on bad efficiency.
Yeah, and for Lou, he did make it over the 40% field goal mark, but just barely.
Just barely, you're right. This is his first trip to the line tonight.
An 85% shooter there, and they've been able to count on him hitting his shots from the line.
You know, he's been one of those players they've wanted on the line as much as possible this season, especially in close games, guys.
And that one falls for Williams.
You know, with Williams, it's more about his ability to create his own shot than his efficiency. It's why he's best suited as a 6th man, in my opinion.
Smart's checked in for Boston. And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
And Williams certainly does personify that 6th man role of instant offense, but it'll be hard to see him in the starting lineup with the way his shooting numbers are.
Now here's Smart. He's averaging just around 8.5 points a game. Brown dishes to Sullinger. Boston again missing. The Hawks trail by 15. Williams kicks to Cephalosha. There's the feed to Zeller. Picked by Zeller. Left side, Korver. Puts it up from 12. Second shot opportunity. And, there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup, and while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call it a foul shot or not, but sure enough they have. So he'll head to the free throw line. Well, last year, Tyler Zeller both started and came off the bench, showed he could be an effective player even when playing heavy minutes.
Yeah, and if you look at the games that he played as a starter, he increased his usage, and it didn't bother his production at all.
He hits both from the stripe. Celtics leading by 13. Now here's Smart. Lee sets a screen for Smart. He dishes it to Brown. Good, and Smart gets the assist. 6 points for Easy Breezy.
And for Zeller last season, his numbers were the same or better as a starter. His scoring picked up a touch. Still had a great field goal percentage too, so really solid production in his first couple of years.
Now here is Cephalosha. He has 6. Korver kicks to Zeller. Puts it up. And he gets that one to go off the front iron. Zeller's got 6. Boston's gone 2 of 4 from three-point range so far in the second quarter.
And I think the big thing for Zeller was that he found his role in the league. He knows he'll be an energy guy who has to make the most of his touches. And to his credit, he is nothing but a positive force on the floor.
And Jared Sullinger picks up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. The Celtics making a switch here. Horford's checked in. There's 42 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Here's Williams. And he gets it to go. Williams has got 6 points in the quarter.
Not much the defense can do once he gets to the bucket.
Now here's Smart. He's guarded by Williams. Picked by Horford. Smart kicks to Brown. Jumper off the screen. Will not go. Still looking for his shooting rhythm as he misses his 7th shot of 10.
His shot's just, it's not there right now. With his team leading, perhaps, let's focus on some other areas of the game.
Out to the right wing. With 1 on the clock. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here.
Clint Capella. First personal foul, team's third.
For Boston, they have shot 9 of 11 at the free throw line.
Again. At the line with 1 shot.
One shot.
Young cannot hit. And so we wrap up the first half. Celtics out in front, leading by 14. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, David, obviously a very strong first half. What's been the philosophy of this team and how you mentally set your focus as a group to come out and play your best basketball?
We just need to keep being consistent, and we're a team that's going to stay humble. That's not an issue with us. We're trying to play defense, rebound the basketball, and then just share the ball on offense and play as a team.
David, it's been a complete change in culture. Thank you for your time. Over to you guys.
Thanks so much, Doris, and we'll step away briefly, but get you right back in there for the start of the third quarter after this break.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Well, 2 quarters down, 2 to go. Welcome back, Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny the Jet Smith as we start breaking it down for you. Out in front at the half is Boston. They lead by 14. Starting with Kenny, your take.
Well, they just about ran their offense to perfection. They pounded the ball inside, and the entry feeds were on time and on the money. It was a clinic to watch. The second half is going to be no contest if they keep getting shots 8 feet and in.
And over to the big fella, your thoughts on the Hawks.
Well, they got more than a few problems to work out, but it all starts with their defense. I know the analytical people love to point out opponents' field goal percentage, and tonight has been a big problem. They haven't defended with any purpose. They need a whole lot more activity on defense.
That wraps it up for halftime as the game is just about to get going again in the third quarter. We will see you later.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but anything can happen. A fantastic game from the kid in this one.
Yeah, created a lot of quality shots for himself in that first half, and he knew when to pass it up when the double team came.
And that led to a very high points per shot number for him. For those of you that are into analytics, that stat really tells how efficient a player has been, and he's been very efficient so far.